Good afternoon, boys and girls. We're going to read We Gather Together. Now, please get lost. Written by Diane DeGroat. And remember how I told you sometimes people dedicate books? She's dedicated to Andrea Spooner. Gilbert was so excited that he tossed and turned all night. Tomorrow his class was going on a field trip to Pilgrim Town. Gilbert kept thinking about how much fun it would be. Frank was going to be his buddy for the trip and promised to bring us checkers for the bus ride. Gilbert finally drifted off to sleep. Bam! Something bopped him on the head. Gilbert woke up with a start and fell off the bed. His sister Lola laughed and waved her doll around. You have to get up, she said. I am up, Gilbert said. But he was really down on the floor, stuck between the bed and the wall. Lola tried to bop him again. Mom says you're late for school. Gilbert had never been late for school before. But today he was tired and didn't want to get up. When Gilbert stomped into the kitchen, his socks didn't match, his toothpaste was dribbling down his shirt, and his hair was sticking up in all the wrong places. Oh dear, Mother said when she saw him. It looks like you got up on the wrong side of the bed today. She handed him his lunch bag, and he hurried out the door. Gilbert had missed breakfast, and his tummy was growling all the way to school. When he got to the classroom, Mrs. Bird had already marked him absent. She erased the X next to his name and said, You should be thankful. We didn't leave without you, Gilbert. Gilbert wasn't so thankful when he saw that everyone had already picked their partners for the trip. The only person left without a buddy was Philip. Philip was always the last one to get picked for anything. He couldn't catch a ball, run fast, and he was always such a big tattletale. Now he was Gilbert's buddy. When the bus started down the road, Gilbert looked around. Frank and Kenny were playing checkers. Patty and Margaret played Travel Battleship. Louis and Sam read a comic book. Gilbert and Philip sat there. Gilbert's stomach growled again. He opened up his lunch bag, and Philip said, I'm going to tell the teacher you're eating on the bus. And Gilbert closed his bag. Finally, Mrs. Bird said, Now, class, we're almost there. At Pilgrim Town, we will see how the first settlers lived. They were thankful they got through the hard winter and celebrated a first harvest with Thanksgiving feast. During our visit today, I want you to think all about the things that you can be thankful for. Patty raised her hand. I'm thankful no one threw up on the bus. Louis shouted, I'm thankful we didn't have a spelling test today. Everyone laughed except for Mrs. Bird and Philip, who was the best speller in class. Gilbert just slouched in his seat and said, I'm thankful we're almost there. When the bus pulled into the parking lot, Mrs. Bird said, Now remember to stay with your buddy at all times so no one gets lost. 2 by 2, they walked through the village, where people in costumes talked about how the Pilgrims lived. They headed towards the blacksmith shop. Gilbert ran to catch up with Frank and Kenny. Philip ran after him, calling, Hey, wait for me. Frank said, Too bad we can't be triple buddies, Gilbert. But you have to stay with Philip. When Philip caught up, he said, Hey, don't walk so fast, Gilbert. Mrs. Bird wants us to stick together. So Gilbert walked really, really slow. Philip pulled at his sleeve and said, Hurry up, Gilbert. At the hay barn, Gilbert hid behind a group of kids, and Philip found him. Stop it, Gilbert, he whined. I'm telling Mrs. Bird that you're fooling around. You're such a big tattletale, Gilbert said. Why don't you just get lost? I'm telling Mrs. Bird you call me a tattletale. On the way to the picnic area, Gilbert slipped into the restroom when Philip wasn't looking and locked the door behind him. Now, Philip would never find him. Gilbert waited a few minutes, then went to unlock the door. The lock wouldn't turn. He tried again, but it was stuck. He banged on the door, yelling, Hey, Philip, I'm in here. Philip didn't answer. Gilbert banged on the door. Is anyone out there? He shouted. No one answered. Uh-oh, Gilbert thought. If Philip didn't see him go into the bathroom, no one would know he was here. Or worse, Philip might not even tell anyone that Gilbert was missing. That's what Gilbert would do if he were Philip. The class might leave without him, and Gilbert would have to spend the whole night in here alone in the bathroom in the dark. Suddenly the doorknob jiggled. Is somebody there? Gilbert shouted. It was Philip. Gilbert, I've been looking all over for you. I can't get out. The lock's stuck. Hold on, I'll get help. After a few minutes, the guide came with the key. When Gilbert finally got out, he saw Philip, but not the rest of the class. Uh-oh, we lost our class. The guide smiled and said, then we better go check the lost and found. As they walked to the visitor center, Gilbert knew he was going to get in big trouble. And Philip was too, all because of him. Gilbert waited anxiously with Philip at the lost child corner until the class appeared. But Mrs. Bird wasn't mad. She said, there you are. I'm so glad we found you. Louis wasn't so glad. He said, we could have been eating lunch already, but we had to come looking for you and Philip. Gilbert said, it's not Philip's fault. I was hiding from him, and I got locked in the restroom. But he found me and got help. Patty said, oh, Gilbert, you were being a very good buddy. And Frank said, I'm so glad Gilbert wasn't my buddy. They weren't being very nice. But Mrs. Bird said, let's just be happy that we all are safe here together. To celebrate, she bought some pies and pilgrim hats and led the class outside on a big picnic table. When they were all seated, she said, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. What are some things we should be thankful for? Pumpkin pie, Louis said, helping himself to a piece. Thanks for getting lost, Gilbert. Patty said, I'm thankful we don't have to live like the Pilgrims did. They didn't even have TV or comic books. They went around the table. When it was Gilbert's turn, he thought for a minute and said, I'm thankful I didn't have to spend Thanksgiving locked into the bathroom. Thanks, Philip. Everyone shouted, yay, Philip. Philip turned red and said, that's what buddies are for. On the walk back to the bus, Gilbert stayed close to Philip, very close. On the bus, Gilbert borrowed Frank's checkers, and he and Philip played 5 games. Philip won every time. Happy Thanksgiving. Share with me what your favorite part of the book was.